So speaking of showing your best, skills section or no skills section?
Yes, I agree. Skill sections are important.
Do
That's
you
my
rate
thought.
the level of proficiencies of the skills, or do you just give them as skills?
Oh, they're going to be technically assessed. Absolutely. That's not my role because I'm not an engineer. But when they
Yeah.
get into the next round, they're going to be asked some questions and perhaps even given some paper pencil testing, or as we
Wow.
call it, because sometimes it's done on a computer. Well, we want to do that for a couple of reasons. First of all, we want to know what they know. And we all also want to know what is their thought process in troubleshooting and solving problems. So we'll have them actually sit with somebody who's a qualified engineer, and we'll say, "This is the issue. How would you handle it?" And then they'll walk you through the steps. Then you'll say, "Well, gee, that's an awful long approach." And somebody who really knows the stuff pretty well, they'll know how to get from point A to point B better. And through our experience, we know what the answers generally are. So now we can do a little of our own data analysis and say, we had 6 people in here last week. 3 of them really answered those questions correctly. And they're all within, the same year of college graduation. So maybe this particular candidate isn't as strong as one of those others. So the more we interview, the more we approximate what we're looking for, who does best versus the rest of the group.
Do you place any stock in if somebody ranks their own proficiencies on their resume, or is it really not really that valuable?
Well, that's something that shows us confidence. Are they confident about their skills? You get a lot of people you could tell that don't have a lot of confidence in their abilities. They're very apologetic, or they'll fudge things. Somebody who tells you that I have a lot more to learn about that is sometimes a better candidate than the person that comes in and says, "Oh, I know all of this," and then we end up technically assessing them and we find out that they don't. That's not being honest and truthful. You got to be honest and truthful about yourself. If you don't know something, say it. Uh, you're not necessarily out of the game. There may be other things that we weight a little bit more heavily and say, like I said earlier, well, maybe you don't know this that well, but you know that. And, there's no ideal candidate. So employers have to settle sometimes a little bit in certain areas. Say, well, okay, you don't have SCADA, but you're very good at programming and you're good at field service work. We'll train you to the SCADA. But if you say you have a lot of it and you're technically assessed and you don't, that's a whole different ballgame.
Thank you so much for watching this segment of the Engineering Success Podcast. If you liked it, make sure to check out the other videos down below that are recommended to you. And if you really like the podcast, make sure to subscribe right down there in the middle. We really appreciate it. It's free to you and helps us a lot out. And last but not least, the best way to help the show grow is to comment down below. So leave your comment if you have any thoughts about this segment. Thanks.
I ain't chasing payments, still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.